Hello and welcome to the Week 13 edition of the Spreads of the Week, the podcast slash show where we run you through every single NFL spread, have a look at the line, and give our opinion on where it's going to fall. I'm joined by a man whose opinion is keeping him over 50% this year. It's Michael over there in South London, picking at 50.75 sorry, on the year, which is good. Pretty pleased with that so far, Mike, I have to say.
I am pleased with that. It's but obviously you've highlighted the razor thin margin by which I am over 50%. So I'm not sure I'm necessarily confident of finishing on that kind of figure, but if I could finish at 51%, that'd be an absolute dream. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it would. Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see if it lasts.
And yeah, I'm now at 43.39%. Not ideal for me, but still, how many weeks? We've still got 6 weeks left. So definitely rounding into the business end of the season. Some relatively big spreads on the show here for week 13, and some surprising ones we'll go through. But yeah, we kick it off with you, Mike. I'll send it over to you. You can bring up the screen share of the good old Athletic here.
Yeah, it's normally served as well. So we'll pull her up. Just thought we'd reflect very quickly on Cowboys Seahawks. It was an absolute barn burner of a game. Great game. I
Yeah.
thought the Seahawks had it for a minute there.
Mm.
I didn't actually see the line before kickoff of this one, and we didn't pick this one this week due to this general manicness around Thanksgiving.
No,
And you know,
it was a real tough one. It was -9.5 for the Cowboys.
the Seahawks cover. I probably would have taken the Seahawks cover there actually. So probably a shame I didn't pick this one because I would have taken that.
Probably, yeah. I was unsure. I actually might have swung with the Cowboys to be honest, just because how good they've been at home. But so yeah, probably good for me.
Did you see their record on and off turf? So when
Yes, it's alarming. It's very alarming.
they're they're like
They
800 on AstroTurf and under 500 on real grass.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Dak especially his interceptions to touchdowns is absurd when you compare those two. So vital for the Cowboys to get the number one seed, but
yeah,
not sure they're going to do it. Might be
yeah.
close.
Well, someone's going to drop a game in the NFC today, as
Yeah.
the two of the big hitters face each other, and we'll get to that in a sec. I do seem to have lost the. Oh, where are all the games? They're normally on a ticker at the top here.
Oh dear.
It's because I said the Athletics normally reliable, Tom. That's actually what's done it, I'm sure. It's now gonna freak out on me. So, oh, you know what? I think they've changed the website, so we're gonna have to go. Oh no, no, here it is. Okay, I thought we were gonna have to go in and out every time. It could take forever. So sorry. Yeah, Lions at Saints to kick it off in the Superdome. The Lions having a bit of a wobble with a couple of iffy results in the last 6 or 7 games, but they do open up as a 4.5 point road favorite here. Do you want to take this one first, Tom?
Yeah, I will. I'm going to go Detroit on this. I've gone a bit 180 from what I've usually done this year, which is back the Saints. But the Saints haven't given me too much to shout about the last few weeks, and I expect Detroit to shut down whatever kind of running game the Saints have and really rely on Carr to throw it, which hasn't been going well this year. So I think the Lions get back to form on this. They're a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team, the Lions. You never quite know what they're going to get. But away in the dome here with a Saints crowd that is very kind of turning on this team a little bit, I think this is a Lions cover. So I'll take them at -4.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take them as well. I think they're obviously a very good team. One of the class outfits of the NFC. And even though it is a good home atmosphere in the dome and the Saints will hang around, I still think the Lions win this one by a touchdown. So
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Lions here too.
Yeah, sounds good.
Now this is a fun game. I'm looking forward to this one. Broncos at Texans, both a surprising 6-5 now for both of these teams. Broncos riding the longest winning streak in the NFL, 5 games.
Awesome.
Um, Texans open up as a 3-point home favorite. Oh, my
Ooh.
goodness. I mean, I think this is a field goal game, so that obviously is what everybody is thinking, clearly.
Yeah, I reckon we'll both get null and void on this. This will be a
I
cancel
agree.
out. And, money
Yes.
goes to the bookies. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's going to go to the bookies. But if you wanted me to bet on who I think would potentially win it by more than a field goal, if they were going to, I'm going to say the Houston Texans. I think they've got a better offense, better defense, and they're at home, better quarterback. So yeah, I'm take the Texans.
I'll disagree. I just think I'm going to take the form team. They really are the form team of the NFL, and I can't back against them as much as I despise the Broncos. Very impressed with young Russell Hill, which I'd not say young, but calling some good audibles in the game last week. I watched that whole game because they were playing the Browns. Russell started to use his legs a bit more on the read option. Very enjoyable. So I think the Broncos are starting to add some more wrinkles to the offense. Obviously, they've committed to running the ball, and Cortland Sutton's an absolute beast. I don't see the Texans defense being able to limit the Broncos here to under 25. So I think the Broncos get out of this with a touchdown win for me.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, no, I think I do have to respect what Sean Payton has done with Russell Wilson. He's really taken him back to being more of a point guard, like he was in Seattle. Instead of basing the whole offense around his spreading it out and playing passing football, they've gone back to a much more heavy run game and just let him run that, not put too much on him, and use his legs, as you say, be a playmaker himself. So yeah, you've got to respect what they're doing. See if they can get up a sixth win in a row. I mean, goodness, I don't know who saw that coming a few weeks ago. After they get shellacked to the tune of 70 points by the Miami Dolphins. My goodness. I love the word shellacked. I get it in whenever I can.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's the perfect way to describe that as well, to be fair.
It was a shellacking. That was a shellacking for the ages. Coin toss here, according to the bookmakers. Colts at Titans in a game that I don't know. Colts are 6-5. They're a fun watch, but I don't know.
My turn to pick. I'll have a go. Yeah, one of our favorite divisions. I was having a look actually earlier, if I digress for a sec, about the AFC South and how these fixtures have gone this year, because we usually take the underdogs and the away underdogs usually cover in this division. That hasn't been the case this year. We've had 3 cases of the away team not covering as underdogs and 3 cases where they did cover. However, 4 of those games have involved the Jacksonville Jaguars. And in the other games, we've seen 2 away covers and only 1 team failing to cover as the away team, and that was Indianapolis at Houston. So I'm going to revert the type here and take the Colts to win this, even though they're road favorites. That's a very pitiful line there as -1. And I think if we remove the Jaguars from the equation, I think the FC South is still very let's take the underdog to beat up on the favored home team. They just know each other too well in this division. So this is going to be a Colts cover just based on previous logic, really, for me.
Yeah, I'm really not sure where to go on this one. Obviously, that's reflected in the line only being 1 point. I'm sure the money is very even on both sides of the ledger for this one. I could see Levis playing well against what is only just an okay Colts defense, and that would be enough to keep them in it. But the Colts, we spoke about the Broncos being a form team. The Colts are also in good form last 10 games or so. So last 8 games, I would say. They've really got a rhythm with Minshew at quarterback now. Even though, as you can see from his stat line here, he hasn't been exceptional. He keeps them in games. So yeah, give me the Colts too. I know I'd like to differ there and make it interesting, but I just I just feel like the Colts are going to win, so I can't pick against my guts here. Yeah. So I'm going to pick the Colts.
You never feel great backing the Titans either. So
no,
feel confident.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than backing the Titans and then they get thumped. It's just like
they've got the propensity to do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, but then Vrabel does also come back to haunt me as well. So it's not a game I'm comfortable picking. Let's say that, but the pick it I have. So Chargers at Patriots. This really does reflect the state of the Los Angeles Chargers, that this is not a bigger line because the Patriots are in disarray at the moment, general disarray, and I think they're gonna play Zappi this week. I don't know. He he might make less big blunders than Mac Jones, so that
Yeah.
might keep it closer. The Chargers find a way to always be in a close game.
Yeah.
Staley is going to lose his job, whatever happens at the end of the season. So is Herbert fully?
Sounds like you're edging to the Patriots there, Mike.
I am. Is Herbert, because I pick against the Chargers and it always works for me.
Yeah.
But if Herbert's fully healthy, they could just rout them here.
Our Chargers 4-7 against the spread this year, one of the worst in the NFL.
I'm going to take the Patriots here. I'm going to take the Patriots at home, big home dog. If this is one of the last wins of the Belichick era, it would just be typical, like getting upset at home and finish 4-13. That would be very fitting. So yeah, go on, give me that. Give me the Pats. Not comfortable.
Yeah, I actually thought this is a generous line here for the Chargers. I don't think they should be 5.5-point favorites, whoever they're playing, particularly not going up to the cold in New England. It's just too easy. This one is the Patriots.
Nice. Well, that was very quick from you, Tom. You know them a lot better than I do. You see a lot more of them over there in the AFC West. It normally gives you a good indicator. So I'm glad I went with you on that one. All right, Dolphins at Commanders. Oh, yeah, I knew this was going to be a big line. But the Commanders do have a feisty passing offense. As you can see, Sam Howell still leading the league in passing yards. So I don't know. Is that enough to keep them in it, or has the magic Vic Fangio got enough to shut them down? What do you think?
Yeah. This is tough because it's an AFC opponent, and I always feel the Commanders are a bit more feisty within their own division. Probably haven't played the Dolphins in a while, and certainly haven't come up against an offense as high flying as this. I'm gonna take Miami here. It just seems like one where the Commanders might just roll over. Unfortunately, I've been very unimpressed with them this year. For the talent they have on the roster on both sides, they've really underperformed for me. So I'm just going to take the Dolphins as the better team here to get the job done. -9 and too much for the Commanders.
Okay, I'm going to differ. So there's add some interest here. The game's in Landover, which is a big thing. If it was down in Miami, I'd be very comfortable taking the Dolphins -9, -10, -11 probably, but as it's FedEx Field, and the Commanders are actually, this is the kind of game that suits them, where they're going to have to throw it all around the yard from the off to keep up with the Dolphins. That seems to really suit Howell, and maybe I'm reading too much into it because they always play the Eagles really close, the Commanders, and they always impress me when I see them in those games. It probably gives me an overall generous view of how good they are. Obviously, their record is 4-8, so they're not that good. But I'm going to say they keep this close enough here, and Miami just get a regulation sort of 5-6 point win or something. Maybe just a touchdown and get out there with the W. Wow, like I could not care less about this next game at all.
Yeah.
God, Falcons. Is there a worse team to watch than the Atlanta Falcons? Seriously, I know I've never been on this bandwagon. I've been picking against them all year. Probably not very accurately because they've covered. I feel like they're good against the spread, but
actually see where they are against the spread. Oh God, no, they're 3-8.
They're 3-8, are they? Okay, well they've burned me.
Worst team in the NFL against the spread.
Wow. Okay, well that was a good job. I asked you to pull that stat up because they are a 2.5 point road favorite here. A terrible Falcons outfit. Go on, Tom. It's your turn to pick first. Isn't it?
I mean, no,
it's my turn. No, it's my turn, isn't it? Because you just picked the Dolphins first.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to take the Jets here, and I'm going to feel quite good about it.
Okay.
I don't know. I think is Tim Boyle going to start at QB? So that might be like a fresh shot in the arm for the Jets, just to have somebody other than Zach Wilson back there. And they're at home, and that defense. I mean, I don't know what the Falcons' offense is going to do against the Jets' defense. Very happy to have the Jets' defense this week in fantasy football. That could be biblical. So yeah, no, give me the Jets here. I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah, I can see a lot of blunders from Ridder. as he's prone to be doing against this defense. It doesn't look good on paper. I will say last week the Falcons went with a relatively novel move, Mike, which was getting Bijan Robinson the ball a bit more,
Ah,
which could help them. I like the line. I just like it's a field goal win here for the Falcons. The Jets, I guess with Tim Boyle it is different, but I really don't know what he's going to bring. It's just a bit too much unknown. I think the Falcons come here and get a win. I think there's just got to be a reason why they're favourites in this. Someone knows something, I feel. So I'll just get the Falcons at -2.5. Although I don't feel good about it. Expect to concede the loss, but it's fun to differ on a few of these.
the total point line set at 33 is very
Yeah,
telling on this one.
that's what to go over it.
No, the over under is 33, is what I was
Oh, so
saying.
you're saying you want to go under it?
I could see a scenario where it's under 33. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is not going to be a good game, and it won't be good defense. It won't be the defenses playing well and stifling offenses. I agree with what you said before. It'll be loads of ricks from both offenses,
Yeah.
and penalties, and it's going to be an ugly watch. So I wouldn't recommend anyone. I wouldn't recommend anyone tune into that one full time. Maybe get it in the quad box if you really want to. You feel that strongly about it. Right.
Oof.
Cards go to the Steel City, rejuvenated with the firing of Matt Canada. I don't know if you saw that now viral clip of Canada celebrating a win a couple of weeks ago in the tunnel and high-fiving loads of people. Yeah, come on, like, and pumping his fist. And the kicker, the Steelers kicker, Chris Boswell, like they were walking down the tunnel and Boswell shouts at him and like points at him and goes, yeah, it had nothing to do with you. Like the kicker during the offensive coordinator.
That is
Oh,
fantastic. I need to seek out this clip immediately. This sounds
yeah,
brilliant.
it's fantastic. Everybody must look it up. Chris Boswell, the kicker, really during with his former offensive coordinator. So I think that tells you what the locker room thought of Matt
Yeah.
Canada. Um,
Wow.
is this rejuvenated offense? I don't know who they've got coordinating. I'm sure they've just got some internal guy like the QB coach or something. Is that going to give them a shot in an arm to really throttle a Cardinals team with Kyler Murray back in the mix? It's -6.5 here, the Steelers.
Yeah. This is a tough one. I was looking at this earlier. The Steelers they've won 2 games this year by 7 points, and then the rest have been very small wins. So this line feels about right for me for a 7-point win for the Steelers. It's like you said. It just depends whether they carry that momentum over and are able to put up points. I think the weather's going to be pretty bad there by the looks of things over the general region here of Western Pennsylvania and Ohio. It's been very poor weather lately, very foggy and dreary. So I feel like the Cardinals committing to the run. Kyler Murray may make some plays. Oh, this is so tough. Steelers. I'm just going to take the Steelers. I don't feel good about it, but I think in bad weather, this is probably a 7-point win again for the Steelers here.
Oh, you've swayed me there. My gut would have been to take the Cardinals, but if it's going to be bad weather and Kyler he's put up yardage, but he's made some killer mistakes with fumbles and interceptions coming back off that knee surgery, which is probably to be expected. Looking a bit rusty. And the Steelers D, as we know, is a top 5 unit for me in the NFL. I don't care what the yardage and all that shit says. They're a very sound defense under Mike Tomlin, as they are every year. So I'm going to take the Steelers 2. You've convinced me, especially if it's a weather game. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean Arizona 6-6 against the spread this year. They've covered some ones we thought they wouldn't, but then you just can't trust them really on the spread. So yeah,
I'll forever love this team for beating the Dallas Cowboys in week 3 as a near 20-point underdog. That was one of my favorite games this season. That will live long in the memory. That one, fantastic stuff, beautiful. Oh, it's firing me up just thinking about it.
They're really identifying Micah Parsons' run defense there, and they're running it right at him very well.
Yeah. Optioning him and everything. Yeah, it's great. Right. So, God,
You have
This,
the honor with this one, Mike. Good luck.
yeah, I do have the honor. Yeah, again, falling squarely in the camp of nobody gives a shit. So uh, Panthers obviously got rid of Frank Reich this week. I've got to say, even though it's weird to see people get fired this early in the season, I don't think it was I don't think it was a bad move, really. I would say in his defense, I think the general manager should probably be gone too, because the team they've put together here in Carolina is abysmal. And
Yeah.
the surrounding cast for Bryce Young is non-existent, which is a disaster for a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. I know there's going to be a new coach swing and new coach bounce that will keep this closer than it otherwise might be.
Yeah.
But as I say, I don't think the roster. It's not like the Raiders had some good players, when they fired their coach. They had some good players that responded to the firing, but how many good players do the Panthers have? They have a couple on defense, and that's it. So I think, and Baker Mayfield's scrappy. So yeah, Buccaneers win by a touchdown for me at home.
Yeah. Okay. Good stats there for Baker. Only
Yeah,
7 picks, which is surprising. I don't know if he's had some fumbles, but yeah, a lot less turnovers than I would have thought. Good ratio to touchdowns. I'm just going to back the new coach feeling. It's always a factor in these games, and it's a divisional game. So I like the Panthers to cover a field goal here. Not just cover. I like the Panthers to win. So I'll back my horse on that and see how I go. But yeah, not too confident, not too happy about this one either way.
that'll be the second time this year you've backed the new coach bounce, and obviously it worked for you with the Vegas Raiders. So yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see if that.
2 in a row for them. They
Yeah,
managed
you're
to.
yeah you're buying the hype on the new coach bounce there. So we'll see if that pays off.
Yeah,
It could
and I
well
feel
do.
that's something it's not really reflected in the odds in the numbers. I did have 3.5 for the Panthers, so that line's come in a little bit.
For
More
me,
money.
it absolutely is a thing. You see it in the English Premier League as well all the time. The
Yeah,
teams stack a manager and then they win 3 games in a row, get themselves out of the relegation places. It happens every year.
exactly.
So yeah, yeah, it could well happen here. So I think pretty unanimous game of the week here. Obviously I'm biased, but the Niners take on the Philadelphia Eagles, Lincoln Financial Field, Southern. That's in South Philadelphia. I don't know if weather will impact this game. I think that wouldn't really worry. Weather wouldn't worry either team really, because they're quite happy to hunker down, play defense, and run the ball when they have to. So
Yeah.
Philadelphia, home dog here, Tom. What's your read on this one?
Well, it's me to go first. Would you like to pick first? I can defer to you if you like.
No,
Probably.
please, you can. It's fine. It's not going to change what I say anyway, so go for it.
No, I think we will agree on this by the sounds of what we're saying. This is a head scratching spread. The Niners are the bookies' darlings, I suppose you could call them. I'm just trying to find their against the spread record is 6-5 this year, so they're pretty much middle of the pack. The Niners, I guess, failing to cover when they're favorites is part of that because they're usually favorites. This is an odd one here. The home team of the much better record and have really got the history over the Niners with that big win last year. I just don't see the Niners coming here and picking up a win, especially as favorites. If the Niners are 3-point underdogs, I might like that, but I think Hurts just makes too many plays here. We've seen it too many times this year. Nothing I've seen makes me want to back the Niners in this game. So this is going to be an Eagles cover and most probably an Eagles win. I imagine you might be able to provide a bit more tactical insight on this, Mike. But for me, this spread from the bookies is just an odd one.
Yeah, it's going to come down to what the Niners do on offense for me this game. The Eagles have a real vulnerability in the slot. We don't have anybody that can cover in the slot. So obviously, I imagine they'll be looking to get Ayuk and Deebo Samuel in the slot as much as possible and throw away with Purdy. I don't think they'll have a huge amount of success running it. I could be wrong, but in the championship game last year, they didn't. And a couple of years ago, when we played them, they didn't either. The Eagles D line is the strength of the entire team, probably. So I think that will keep it close. I think the Eagles being a home underdog here is pretty insulting, if I'm honest. Like obviously I'm biased, but you'd say, given the Eagles are probably, along with the Broncos, the form team in the entire NFL at the moment. So I'm going to take the Eagles. I never want to bet against Jalen Hurts again, to be honest, when he's an underdog. Philadelphia being a home dog here is, I just, the players in that locker room like Kelsey, Lane Johnson, they've been here before. The 2017 Super Bowl run had similar vibes where we were home dogs against all these teams and we just blew them all out. So I can see that. I can see us winning this game. From the Eagles' perspective on offense, it's going to be can they get enough done without Dallas Goedert in the lineup? I think they might just have to go bombs away. I think the cornerbacks of this Niners defense are a weak spot. So yeah, Hurts to air it out. And
Javarius Ward hanging around is never the greatest sight you want to see out there.
Mooney man Ward, yeah, staying back there and trying to pick off Hurts. We'll see who comes out the better. I know who I'm backing, so I'm backing Hurts to get the better of them. Yeah. But we'll see. Great game of the week for me.
Yeah, should be a real doozy there.
This is also a fun game. I think this is a fun game because I actually quite like watching both of these teams, even though the Rams are not the force they once were. And obviously, we both have a soft spot for the Cleveland Browns. So the Browns look like they're -3.5. I just want to check that with you, Tom, because for some reason the Rams, the line isn't showing up properly on this screen.
Yeah, I had 4 points, but I prefer the 3.5 because we'll get a winner out of this. So let's stick to 3.5.
So Cleveland +3.5 in LA. I think I said minus there. You know what? Until I God, you know what though? I was going to say until I see it from Flacco, I'm not sure I can believe it. But the Rams are in close games all the time. Whoever they play, so I'm not sure.
They had one blip, didn't they? Beat the Lions or something by. Also, they won one game by about 20 points.
Yeah,
that was the exception that proves the rule, I guess.
If the Rams win this, if the Browns win this, it will be by a field goal. So, but that's not really the question at hand, is it? It's how many if the Rams win it, how many would they win it by? I think they'd only win it by a field goal, actually.
Yeah.
Go on, I'm going to ride the Flacco train here, even though I haven't seen it, based on no evidence whatsoever, other than just I can't back the Rams to blow anybody out. I'm just going to take the Browns here. Sorry, I took ages to make a really bland call there. Go on.
No. The Browns defense matches up quite well here against this Rams passing attack. If the Rams want to play their style of offense, they're going to get unstuck here, I think, against this legitimately good defense. I'm not sure the state of Myles Garrett, actually. Let me just have a look at that, because that was a problem when he got injured. No injury designation, even though his shoulder appeared to dislocate last week. That is ridiculous. So some good genetics there for the young man, obviously.
When I dislocated my shoulder, I was down for about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Required some physiotherapy there as well. So I don't think. So something tells me and Myles Garrett aren't built the same, Tom.
No, that's true. That's why we're picking him, I suppose. I'm going to agree with you. This is a bad matchup for the Rams defense. I don't know how Flacco is going to go, but Flacco will be an upgrade, even off no game time, from PJ Walker and probably DTR at this stage. So I think it's a story about the Cleveland defense here, and they cover the field goal. Absolutely.
Beautiful. We do only have 4 minutes and 45 seconds left, Thomas. So we will have to rattle through these last two. Chiefs at Packers. You're on it.
This is going to be a Packers cover for me here. Chiefs very much in one-score games this year. The way we're playing this year, I see Mahomes there with a 9 INTs, which is quite a few for him. We're really playing a lot more run heavy and not airing it out as much, which means we haven't got the propensity to blow people out, especially at Lambeau. This is going to be a pretty comfy Packers cover here. I think the Chiefs probably win this by a field goal, just based on Jordan Love maybe turning it over a few times and the Packers struggling to move it on us. But I expect a stodgy game and probably look at the under there of under 43. Absolutely on this one. So it's a Packers cover for me.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that, and it's it's one of those old Belichickian adages that the NFL is about players, not coaches. You got to
Yeah.
have the horses, and Kansas City just doesn't have the horses anymore on offense to be a destructive unit. And I think they've done that deliberately in their defense. I think they want to be more ball control,
Yeah.
keep some of the wear and tear off Mahomes until the playoffs. I think you might see
Yep.
some designed QB run, etc., for Mahomes in the playoffs once they get there.
Yep.
And maybe some more wrinkles, but I think they're keeping it quite vanilla because they know they can beat teams just with their good defense and Mahomes. So I think that's very much the case here. I think they just sneak a 4 or 5 point win and get out, and it will be fairly routine, fairly comfortable. You won't be in too many tough spots. The Packers aren't a very good team. Jordan Love will probably throw a couple of INTs, and that'll be enough, So I agree with you there. I'm going to take Packers to cover as the home dog here.
Yeah. Off a big win on Thanksgiving, but expect this team to be very rocky and come back down to earth here. They can't. I don't think they're a team to put together 2 big performances in a row.
I will say LaFleur has shown me something though. This is a good coaching job he's doing because they looked to be down and out at 3 and 6, and he's just got them. He's pulled them back together when I thought it all might fall apart and he might lose his job. If they keep playing like this and finish just over 500, I think he'll be safe.
Yeah, Christian Watson's health is big in that as well.
Yeah,
very important to have him on the field.
A bizarre tactic though for the Packers. They don't throw it deep nearly enough, considering they have probably the second strongest armed QB in the league behind Mahomes. And they just don't let him throw it deep to Christian Watson. It's bizarre. Maybe they just don't trust him to be accurate with it. But yeah, it does seem very strange to me. All right, just under 2 minutes here to get through Bengals at Jaguares.
Your Honor.
We spoke about this one earlier offline, and I think we both agree on this. I'm not gonna draw it out too much. Even with Burrow's injury, I still think the Bengals cover 10 here. Jags won't like the weather, and they haven't really shown me enough, even at 8-3, to suggest that they just go and rout a team away from home. So yeah, that's my pick.
So it's at Jags.
Oh, is it? Oh God, I'm reading the thing wrong. Can you tell I'm hungover? Okay. Well, still
change it at all or not?
No. I've seen enough from the Bengals. They're a better roster than the Jags. Obviously, Burrow's injury is a huge issue, but outside of that, they have the better roster. So I'm still going to take the Bengals to keep it under 10.
I'm just going to differ here for the sake of differing and to make something fun out of Monday Night Football. Jags are very Jekyll and Hyde. I said that about the Lions earlier, but Jags as well. They get blown out sometimes, but then they can absolutely put the hurt on people when everything's clicking there. I can't see Cincinnati disrupting them too much here, and the Jazz get a comfy win and another underwhelming primetime game on Monday night.
As always, underwhelming on Monday night. God, I wonder if Aikman ever regrets making that move over to Monday Night Football. God.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of the reason why the broadcasts are underwhelming in general, I think, as well. I think having those two schmucks talking about it.
All right, we better wrap this up. We're about to get cut off. Enjoy the game.
Hate here again from us. Lovely.
See you, mate.
Go well.
Go well.